Also,
Yeah,
I think this is the first movie we've ever done that didn't have a Wikipedia page.
Or anything. I mean, it doesn't
No,
even have
did you guys happen to check out that article I sent you the link to, the UCLA Film and Television Archive?
Yeah, I read it.
Pretty interesting background on it, some of which I remember from when I was 7. It was on in 1969. What I distinctly remember that's mentioned in the article is that, excuse me one second here, is that it was on TV. It says in the article that it was Saturday afternoon. I don't remember that detail, but I remember watching it on TV alone and being completely knocked out. And like when CBS preempted Gunsmoke 8 days later to put it on in prime time, and they had Doris Day introduce it, I made my parents watch it.
Wow.
So I found this, John, and you two whippersnappers, Jared and Tad. This is a close-up, which used to be in the TV guide.
Yeah.
When they
that
were
way you,
really
that way you knew it was good.
to something.
Yeah, you knew it was good if it had a close-up. Yeah.
And yeah, look at the times on this though. Sunday is, I'm assuming that's 11 o'clock a.m.
That might be Central Time, so maybe it could be earlier.
It's possible.
Yeah, but
interesting.
So it might be noon, New York.
Actually, there's a half-hour break in there too. What the hell's going on back then?
Yeah, it had parts 1 and 2.
Yeah. But anyway, that was a heck of a movie. It was.
Fuck you, John, for picking that fucking
I have
thing.
a question. Chris, are you going to shit on John's porch?
I was ready to get in the fucking car, except that the ending's kind of sweet. So
yeah, they pulled it off at the ending. I thought
they curled it back to the ending in such a fantastic way. It wasn't maudlin. It was sad, but not overwhelmingly so. And at the end, it was so hopeful.
It's a Hallmark movie.
Like, it's like
that's what my mom said.
So it was a good cry.
Spoiler alert for the viewing audience.
I literally was talking to my mom about this, and I was explaining the plot, and she goes, "That's a Hallmark movie." And I was like, "Yeah, well, they didn't have the Hallmark Channel back then, so they
right,
it
it
on
was
CBS."
Proto Hallmark movie.
Oh.
But are Hallmark movies ever about something like this? Aren't they generally about relationships and romance? And
not necessarily. There's all kinds. There's
longer
murder mystery ones.
Yeah.
There's
there's
one
with
Jared
filler. This
one's
was
all about
Jared.
shoes.
Jared, who starred in My Short New, that was his big break. Was he got the lead in a Hallmark movie, and it was called Finding a Family or Finding My Family, and so it wasn't.
I got to see if there's a Dave and Jeb aren't mean episode about that.
You know, I give this movie credit for no other reason. If this was true, like 1969, the idea that they put something about inner city kids, like in prime time, like I don't know, like how many other stories.
No. Except for the teacher,
that kind of an audience, surely.
Except for the teacher, man. Every character in this is either Central European, Jewish, or black.
And it was it's audacious. You think about, this was CBS Children's Hour, so it's hour-long movies for kids. And Jane Wagner just went, let's do something with a little bit of oomph to it.
And that's Lily Tomlin's partner, right?
Yeah.
After she made this, and Lily Tomlin paid attention to it, and she started working with her on Laugh-In, and the relationship came later. So this started that whole thing. But it was beautiful. There was like not a wasted moment. It's the shortest film we've done, for one thing. 48 minutes.
I disagree with the wasted moment comment.
Oh, there's so many wasted moments.
I don't know. And I thought
there was only one part I didn't like, and that was they didn't have to show him get dressed in his entirety. That was
odd. That was a strange thing to do. But I guess it was a kid's show.
Except it showed how he gets dressed in the morning.
But all we needed was the pop up, put the jacket on, whip the trousers off, and then you cut. Like you don't need the shoe.
I kind of liked it.
Don't need the. Yeah. But then you cut to the hallway.
Also, this thing is this poor kid.
I also liked him going to the showers there.
Yeah. They don't have their own bathroom there for the shower.
Right, and also, he lived on a couch. He didn't even have a room of his own.
Yeah, which made me worry when the grandmother came to visit. Was like, where's she going to sleep?
I bet your mom and grandma are sleeping in the same bed.
I'll bet you're right.
Yeah. So
yeah. I mean, and this stuff literally. At age 7, I was colorblind, and all this shit went over my head. It was just a boy and a little cat, and that was the story to me.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember that. Like I mean, I would have been 4, but I think I'm kind of surprised I never even heard of it.
Yeah, right.
When I looked him up, I was disappointed to see that he's 2 years younger than me.
Wow. No, there's one of the things that struck me that I thought this is how well put together this film is that the cat Oh, Bones, I think.
The
Mr.
cat.
Bones.
There was excellent cat acting. In
Great cat acting, but he's supposed to be blind as a one-eyed cat. Is a blind in one eye.
Yeah.
On the cat's left side, you can see it's all. They put that stuff all over it and make it look.
Put some goop on it.
Yeah. So the cat couldn't see that eye, and then when the bullies went and took the cat out and let it, and the cat took off, ran across the street, blindsided on the left by the car.
Yeah.
I mean, they had to think that through. Yeah. I mean, it was really well done. And man,
see, the cat's a better actor than anyone else in this.
They got it.
I was really impressed with the acting from the cat.
No,
yeah, the cat's great.
From the wrangling.
The rest of the movie sucks ass, but the cat's great.
All right. What?
I actually
come
think
on.
that,
where's your
it's part of his
Chris, help me out here. Come on, it's wrong.
Can we talk about how bad the music is? I'm not talking about the music coming out of
I know what. No, I'm going to stop right. I'm going to take an umbrella on this, and we cannot talk about that music because we have a bad film chain. We have no idea if the film is the music is good or bad because it does this.
The audio of everyone else speaking in the movie is fine.
No,
and they chose to make that wobbly ass music in there.
No, it's not. It is not. That was a technical glitch.
I think that's a transfer issue.
How is it the rest of the audio?
You can only hear when people talk. When people talk, it's atonal. It's like we're not singing when we're talking. We're simply making noises and putting together into syllables.
Correct.
Music, and also the music was kind of like a long, moody little.
But also the music coming out of his transistor radio is fine. It's the score.
I thought that was the worst. I thought that was even
because
more
of the way
than
the score is recorded.
Yeah, the diegetic score was worse than the non-diegetic score.
I was surprised at how many. I knew every actor in this film. I'd seen them in other stuff. It was awesome.
Wow.
Yes, a lot of people got their
grandma. What have you seen the mother in?
First of all, the woman in the hallway. I think she was born that age because
yes, she was.
I've seen her in films. 10 years after this movie, and she looks exactly the same.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
So the woman, first of all, I recognize the mom, the woman in the shower in the hallway.
Dubois is the mom, Janet.
Yeah,
Dubois.
obviously the teacher. The teacher was very famous.
The teacher was Wagner, right?
Everyone in this movie, I was like, oh, I know her.
The store owner,
no, that's somebody. The teacher, somebody got really big later on. I can't remember.
The teacher became like famous. Yeah,
that's Holland Taylor.
Holland Taylor.
That's the mom from
one of those actors.
That's the mom from 2.5 Men.
Your whole life.
The mom from 2.5 Men.
She was also in
2.5 Men.
I want to say she had. I want to say she's. I think she's also the publisher. I think she's. What's her name's publisher in Romancing the Stone? She's the publisher.
Possibly.
Probably.
Yeah.
Legally Blonde.
I haven't seen that in so long.
She was in Legally Blonde. She was most recently that I saw her. She was the part is the great leader in Bill and Ted Face the Music.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. See, she went on to do.
I saw that.
Anyway, I just thought that was cool that I recognized almost everyone, and I was like, oh, wow.
No, at the end of the film, I didn't cry exactly, but my heart felt really heavy for about an hour afterwards. Because what a way to learn about life and death. What a way,
Yeah.
Well, sorry,
it's
Chris,
the best way to learn about death.
Yeah, exactly. Directly. And then having a wonderful grandmother, explain it to you.
I had to go and find this motherfucker and give him a great big hug. I had to give him a great big hug when this movie was over.
Yeah.
Honestly, Chris, I wasn't 100%.
Comedy, great.
I wasn't 100% sure that the cat died at the end because it has been, it was
a long
1969.
time.
No way, that cat.
But here's the thing: I knew the show made me cry, and I probably wouldn't remember it if the cat hadn't died. That's what makes it a classic.
Well, he gets a replacement.
For a kids movie.
I think the cat actually died.
That's up there with like killing off and Finding Nemo's dad.
Also, talking about cat wrangling. This bit near the end where they had the kitten in the basket, and he's got she's like,
oh man,
bat. Oh my God, come on.
When the mom picks or the grandmother picks the cat up and is holding it like it's a fucking wet rag, and then it attacks her. That's the one part of the movie I enjoyed. It was just like, yeah, that's what you get for fucking holding a cat like that. God damn it!
I like what she says.
She's from the country. She probably picks up dogs and cats.
Says, "Oh, he's much too
even though
for me."
Even though this is definitely like a Hallmark, it's a Hallmark type of
proto
movie.
Hallmark. How about that? Proto Hallmark.
But I agree with what someone said earlier about it. The fact that it is based on a black culture in Harlem at that time. That's very cool. And I do think that you know, the filmmaker in me loved like the 16 millimeter grit to this. Like it was just so, like the lighting and everything was so raw. I mean, it felt
very
like
new Hollywood, very new Hollywood.
Do we know that that's what it was shot on, or just the quality of
It
the?
was shot in 35 millimeter, but we literally watched it as a Coronet 16 millimeter film for high schools. Remember the Coronet logo in the front?
Yeah.
How often have you seen that?
for me, like, do you remember like when I was a kid? They
Carousel,
showed us-
sorry.
when I was a kid, they showed us the red balloon. Everybody remember that one?
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
that's my wife brought
On
up. She says
16
this-
millimeter.
So so this was sort of like a companion piece of sorts for me.
It was.
You know,
Yeah.
when I
Well, the red
watched.
balloon was a neat trick because your heart thudded when a balloon died. Think about
Yeah.
it.
Balloon pops.
That's
Yeah,
kind of
and
hard to
that's-
do.
And that's
Yeah.
a wonderful movie as well. And
Mhm.
yeah, I kind of found this like to be a companion piece of sorts.
It is. They're very similar in a lot of ways.
The UCLA article mentioned that it was reminiscent of the neorealists, and it's, except for the fact that it was in Harlem and it was in English, I could totally see that. You know, I mean,
Yeah,
and
I
that-
think so too.
That kind of took me back
I
to
also-
that opening scene where he's putting on his clothes. Is like, yeah, that felt like, you know, something from a scene from The Bicycle Thief, or
Right.
This movie
Yeah, I
would be
love
better if it
Bicycle.
wasn't in English.
Yeah.
I-
Yeah. Well, also,
I think we do get there. No, there that barrier.
movies would be
We
better
give
if
more
they were
forgiveness. We give more forgiveness when it's in a different
Yeah.
language.
maybe we can have it dubbed, Jared.
But I also-
Yeah, we could.
Yeah,
dub
as
it
soon
into
as
Russian.
Scott secures the rights to release this on Blu-ray,
I've got Jane Wagner's Twitter thing, so we'll see what happens.
Right on.
I also was reminded of one of my favorite films, and I was almost going to pick it today. I'm not, but one of my favorite films from 2000 is David Gordon Green's George Washington,
Mm.
and this
Mhm.
definitely had echoes of that, or vice versa.
Yeah.
You know, just
I don't remember
some-
that.
some
Give
things.
me a quick on that one.
David Gordon Green, of course, is he was like this young sort of auteur filmmaker that came out in the 2000s, and he made a lot of good movies. But his first kind of
Didn't he
big
make the
one
movie
was-
about those guys whose job is to clean up roadkill?
Yeah, he made that one. Yeah, which wasn't a very good one for him. But he also has a second career as he makes shitty comedy because he's really good friends with Danny McBride in real life. But anyway.
Pineapple Express.
Yeah, he directed like Pineapple Express and stuff.
Oh,
But he's
okay.
also got these art
Gross.
pictures that he does. One's called George Washington, and it's just this beautiful.
Wasn't that his directorial debut?
I think
George
it was,
Washington?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then he also
Saw it-
did
I
a
saw that
really
one.
great one called All the Real Girls.
I've heard
Oh.
of
oh,
that.
I saw that.
Yeah, and he did a great one called like Snow Angels. He recently also did that.
That was good too.
He also did that Jake Gyllenhaal one, like Powerful or Power, that newer one where he played the guy that got his leg blown off in the Chicago
In the Boston
or
Marathon.
the Boston
bomb.
Marathon. Yeah,
Right. I wanted to check that out mostly because
it's worth it for just Gyllenhaal's performance. It's a pretty standard formula.
pretty standard issue.
movie, though.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about Gordon Green, though, is early on he did not stick to a formula at all. He was very maverick. He was like equal parts Malick, equal parts like this film, equal parts like neorealism. He was just really cool and different. And George Washington is one that's like always stuck with me. And anyway, this film sort of reminded me a tiny bit of it.
Okay. But,
Yeah.
as filmmakers, and this is to John and Jared, do you think if it said like CBS handed you like a small amount of money, you could pull something like this off? Would you ever think of something like this? What did you think of the job the filmmaker did?
This was Wishbone quality, by the way. If anyone's ever seen the TV show Wishbone,
Yeah, pretty much.
Maybe it's because we're watching it now in 2021,
Mhm.
but it felt refreshing. It was just like straightforward.
That's
Yeah.
what I got. It was like so direct, and
Yeah.
it
It
was
was
so.
almost
There was
parts of it
no
were like a
gimmicks. There was no
documentary.
gimmicks to it.
Yeah, it did feel like a documentary.
Yeah.
Jim's right.
Yeah, it was his.
Yeah.
Everything was hideous
So
in this film.
I found it refreshing, and I thought that the acting was. I disagree with Tad. I thought the acting was good.
Mhm.
All these actors I think were great. I like the rawness, the grittiness. Yeah, it's a little Hallmark card for my personal taste, but still
Yeah.
it worked. It worked
But
for
it's
me.
for kids.
I wish it was more Hallmark card. Actually, like I wish they'd given the kid more to say. Like there's so many scenes where he's just sitting there staring into space,
I'll give you that.
and
I
then
like that, though.
occasionally
Yeah.
repeating himself,
Mhm.
and it's like,
It's
But I-
probably-
that-
just say,
worked
I
for
want to
me.
go take care of this cat. You know,
Well, he
just
did.
just
He did.
whatever
That's
it
what he-
is.
That's like one of the only times he lit up, and I liked that. I liked
Yeah.
because you get that he's shy, he's withdrawn, he's a bit
Mhm.
reclusive. He's
He's on a bad path.
He's exactly.
And he
And
is
he's
on a bad path.
But
Just
you
by
know,
birth.
I don't even see that. He stole the radio at the beginning. Everything else after that is him being altruistic. Like I don't like
No,
it's
he
No, the mom says he's like
stole,
well, he's
doesn't
also
listen.
lying to the people at the grocery store. I mean, he, you know, there's like little things.
but it's altruistic. He's doing it to get
he's doing
food
it
to
for
give
the
to the
cat.
cat.
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
he's
And he
not
gives
doing
I
it.
think one of my
He's not
favorite
trying
parts,
to be. He's not trying to be popular with the bullies. He's not trying to be
No.
like. He's
No,
not
he's a
trying
good
to.
kid. He's a good kid. And one of my favorite parts was him actually giving the radio back. I thought that was fucking
Oh, that
awesome.
was nicely done.
Well,
And
yeah,
also
it's
nice
like the
bright
last
yellow.
scene,
because
right?
he pushes it into the window, right?
Also,
Yeah.
the bright
He
yellow.
tries to hang it up and then it falls, and they
Yeah.
just kept that in the scene.
Well, it
Yeah.
works, but the bright yellow radio is almost like symbolic. Like it's like one of those things that would be like the only color.
That's
thing
the red
black and yellow.
balloon.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's interesting because they do, you know, he's the main character and they show him do something. The first thing you see him do is he does something bad. He steals.
Oh yeah,
Right.
the symmetry of that thing.
And then
That's
there's
the-
that symmetry at the end where it's
Mhm.
like, well, he's corrected his path and he gives the radio back. So
And it's
But-
also great because of the look he gives the two kids, the bullies.
Yeah, he gives
No,
them
it's
like
like-
a aha.
that was like the only time he smiles in the whole movie.
I know. It's
Yeah.
like, fuck you.
I don't do this shit no more.
But the bullies also have a change of heart there too. They're looking at him differently after they killed the cat. Like,
Right.
I
Which
think
was an
so.
accident, by the way.
Which it was.
yeah,
kid-
no,
the kid
but
fell.
but they did kill the cat, and they have that realization. You see them
Yeah.
actually.
You-
That
you
is a
see
good.
it on
That
the
is a
kid
well
who-
done
That was good.
part
That was like
where
oh,
they're
crap.
looking over the step, and it
I've-
happens.
Yeah.
Then he comes running up from behind them,
Mhm.
and
And I thought that going back to Scott's point, like I think the direction is actually quite good because specifically the two bullies, I mean, they were relentless, you know, they were,
But that's what like
they
when you were
were
a kid.
just-
You got bullies, man.
right. Like they
Uh-huh.
were not giving up and they
Well,
obviously
never
lived.
give up. Yeah.
They
Well,
probably
we didn't
lived-
need 3.5 minutes of them
No
tossing
surrender.
a fucking radio back and forth.
But they
I know.
obviously lived like two doors down and you know what I mean? Like it was just,
Right.
it felt all really real.
it was like
Yeah.
a
This is what
regular
I'm saying.
ordeal
This is
for
what I'm saying
kid.
about there being wasted moments in the movie. This movie could have been 30 minutes long.
Mhm.
You could have cut out a number of things in this movie.
Mhm.
You could have shortened a number of scenes in this movie, and I think it would have been better.
I don't
Like,
know.
I
I think you
don't
could,
know.
I
I'm
think
not
you could,
gonna-
I think you could add a half an hour and make it.
Yeah,
a
you could
real-
go.
Yeah,
You
no,
could do that
you know.
too.
Either
You
way,
could go
going
in
up-
either direction, but
Yeah.
where it
I
was
think it had to
didn't
fill
work.
No,
a
you're saying it's
15-minute
uneven, and I agree with
block.
Tad. It was a little uneven. There are some places where it slowed down because it sped up for no good reason. That's
The
what you
gr-
said.
the grandmother
Huh?
the grandmother
was never bored with
stands
it.
up and
No, I was
walks
not bored
across
either.
the room for like
Not
3
long enough.
hours, and it's just nothing but squeaking floorboards. Like it's just
Also,
Yeah,
one thing
well,
about
it's,
this is that
it's where they live.
you got how
yeah,
many-
that's fine, but again, it doesn't need to be that long. We get the point.
yeah.
I,
And we
Like,
just-
I've been,
I
maybe,
can't say I
maybe
was
it's me.
bored,
Maybe
though. I
I've
was-
been
I
to
was there the
places
whole
like
time.
this. Maybe
Also,
I've
the-
been in apartments like this, and I've lived in apartments like this, and I know what this is like. But it's just one of those things to me where it's just like it's just fucking hitting you over the head over and over
Yeah, I'll give you
again.
that.
Yeah, well,
Shit
it was
sucks.
made in the
Shit sucks.
60s.
Fuck these people.
I'm also
It was
suburban.
made in the 60s. Give me a fucking
Also,
break.
white
There's
suburban.
stuff made in
kid-
the '60s that's better than this.
Right.
Also, to this point, back to this point, there's when you have a child actor, there's two different kinds. I found one, they're naturally talented and outgoing, and they can really take adult style direction, like be sad, be happy, give us some subtlety. And there's ones you have to construct their performances. You like stand there and don't look and just stare away, and we'll put it together in editing.
Or
Okay,
like
At
the
least,
cla-
at least he's not precocious.
No,
Like, I'll give
no,
you that.
Macaulay,
He's
no,
the
yeah,
latter.
well said. Thank you. Macaulay
What you're
Culkin.
saying is that he's of the latter.
He's a latter one. Macaulay
Yeah.
Culkin. Go watch Home Alone again. It's all constructed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all his performance is all in editing. It's all put together from
But,
the
yeah,
bits he does. It's a really
This
And
weird.
there were
isn't, this
parts
isn't a
that somebody
curly.
brought
This
up-
isn't a curly Sue. Like I'll give
No,
you
no,
that.
it's not
Yeah, thank
obnoxious.
God.
It isn't like Aiden Quinn or something like that. Thank God.
yeah, again, I appreciated his sort of stoicism.
Yeah, me
You
too.
could tell though, you could feel the hands of the director at some points. It was like, okay, now go up the stairs and act like you're really enjoying this new radio. And so he was dancing around.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then that scene where he's brushing his teeth and still listening to the radio and trying to dance around at the same
Uh-huh.
time. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
But it was hilarious because it was like I could tell he was just doing what he had been told to do.
And
Also-
yeah, and there was
also
no
the-
music
the-
at all in the set.
The white savior, the white savior motif for the
Door owner?
for the teacher.
Yeah, but she doesn't save him.
No, but she's one of those people who took the grant to go and teach in the inner city.
Absolutely.
So to get some of her student loans forgiven. And so she thinks she's going to go in there and she's going to reach this kid and she's going to be the one who makes this kid's life better. And she doesn't, and that's actually kind of cool.
That is kind of neat.
Like that scene again. That scene goes on too long, but like it's cool that she actually cannot reach him, and then when she sees the paper, realizes he's been trying to tell her what's going on, and she's not listening because he doesn't fit into the mold of a good student.
No, 100%. That was actually a really good observation, man. You're absolutely right.
There's no dangerous minds.
She was intervening into this thing, and she just failed miserably. And the guy was the shopkeeper, was the one who came through with his basic kindness
because he lives in the community. He knows these people.
Oh, the whole thing.
He lives above a bodega.
No, it was good. It was good stuff, man. It was John. Well, I would never see it in a million years. I didn't remember ever seeing it as a kid. So well done, man.
Thanks. Well, I was kind of rolling the dice because it was, like I said, a distant memory, even more so than the H-Men, which I unleashed on you guys a while back.
I'd rather watch the H-Man again.
I actually want to watch the H-Man again.
It reminded me of my youth.
I can't draw a line between these two movies. I'm sorry.
The guy that did this ended up going on to. He made a lot of movies. I mean, like
a lot of TV stuff.
Well, I mean, like 5 episodes of the reboot of Galactica. I mean,
like the Canadian one with
also
the reboot.
The reboot,
the Ronald D. Moore one.
I mean, he was working. Yeah, he's worked fairly consistently. He did a couple of theatricals. He did that Paul Simon movie, One Trick Pony.
He directed One Trick Pony.
Cortez, which I remember being pretty good.
And this was like his third thing.
Yeah. I think documentaries maybe was.
That was impressive.
Yeah, he did a couple of documentaries.
You can tell.
Jim, I didn't hear you. There was a dropout, and you said one of the two films reminded you of your childhood. Was it this one or H-Men?
It was both.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because because Jim is also a water monster.
Oh no, he's a Japanese scientist.
Well, I've been thinking about the H-Men.
I am Hydrogen Man.
I've been wanting to watch the H-Men again. But I thought, John, you might like to know that I watched this with Cohen, my 9-year-old. So,
what did he think?
He got to see this too. He liked it. He loves cats anyway. His mom has 2 cats.
Yeah.
They have 3 cats.
Wow.
Yeah. So he liked it a lot.
That's a concerning number of cats.
You're saying his mom is a cat lady?
She is a cat lady. It's disgusting. And I'll put that on the record. But he enjoyed it because he loved the kittens, and he's a little bit younger than this kid, but of similar age, and
sure, I'm sure he could identify with him.
Yeah. So
that's a nice takeaway. That in fact, this film made 52 years ago, can still touch kids in 2021. That's nice. That's really nice.
Well, somehow need to get a good release of it so you can.
Yes, we'll get on that. Come on,
because John.
Yeah, Scott's on this. Don't worry about
it. Good. Oh, and just for a second, can we talk about how the fact that there were no sets? They shot it in Harlem, and some of those buildings looked downright dangerous. They had
I
was going to say that any railings.
Yeah, stand in this rickety building and then act with this mangy cat and just like I hope it all works out.
In the early '90s, it still looked like that. Like this was
Cohen actually mentioned
what it was like.
He's like that they're gonna get hurt in that building. Like he said something to the effect because that was, and you can't have actors like running amok kids in fucking dangerous ass buildings like that.
They couldn't have done it the way they did it if they were shooting it today.
Well, I'm hoping that
I'm sure Child Services would take.
I'm hoping at the table read everybody got tetanus shots before they started shooting the film, right?
Oh yeah, there's at least 3 people. At least 3 people stepped on nails during this. We need a new camera guy. Steve stepped on a fucking nail again.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, wow, I got like a board stuck in his elbow, and I was like,
One piece of dialogue I did remember hearing, when we watched it again just recently, was like, oh, I remember that line from when I was a kid. Was the grandma saying, "What does it mean that she was from out of town? She was like from Tennessee,
Memphis."
No, they were addressing that. They were addressing the black diaspora into the inner cities because their family is all from the south and they moved there.
What does it mean with the windows on those buildings that have X's?
Have X's.
Are they playing tic-tac-toe? And he goes, no, those are the ones they're going to tear down. She goes, I guess the O's are losing.
Yeah.
The O's and O's.
I liked the part where she was saying I thought that was more of a place to drink in than a church because they had neon signs outside.
Nightclub.
And the neon and the neon sign church is something I definitely remember from when I was a kid.
Oh, that's great. Well done, John.
Well, so do I.
Good
Jesus
pick.
Saves there in Santa Rosa. Is that
That's
sign
right. It's
still
right
there,
down the
John?
street from me.
Yeah.
The Redwood Gospel Mission.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thumbs up. I think.
Yeah,
guys.
thumbs up.
Yeah.